Salute, squad. Welcome back to another episode of Fly High Productions with Mr. Follow Up. So check this out. It looked like we coming to a close of this FBG duck slash O Block trial. The jury started deliberating at the close of their last court appearance, and it sounded like I say, it sounded like before we know it, we gonna hear the fate on the O Block 6. Now, the Chicago Sun-Times uh, latest update came in, and this is what they had to say. Said the jury started deliberating in the Gold Coast land of the rapper FBG Duck after being told by prosecutors he was M by O Block. After final argument slowly wound to a close, a federal jury on Wednesday began deciding the fate of the 6 alleged gang members charged in the brazen killing of the rapper FBG Duck on the Gold Coast. The turbulent trial of the alleged members and associates of the Black Disciples O Block fashion kicked off exactly 3 months ago when the process of impaneling an anonymous jury began amid safety and security concerns surrounding the high-profile case. The jury of 5 men and 7 women were sent out to begin deliberations after 5:15 p.m. Wednesday. The jurors left by 6 p.m. and were set to resume Thursday morning. That was quick, half hour. Marred by delays, the proceedings before Judge Martha Picot at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse have at times been painstakingly procedural, and at others uproarious and outright bizarre. It says prosecutors allege that Duck, real name Carlton Weekly, was killed during a years-long gang war between O Block and the Tuckerville faction of gangster disciples, he claimed. In closing out Wednesday, Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian noted that testimony had shown O Block was an organized crew that held meetings, collected cash from its members, and disciplined those who ran afoul of its rules. Julian rattled off a list of people who had been killing during the gang conflict that he said accumulated in Duck's daytime slaying on August 4, 2020. Entertainment evidence of criminal enterprise. Drill Rock King Von takes center stage in FBG Duck murder trial. He was downtown minding his business, shopping when he was down. By those 6 defendants, Julian said. He was murdered by O Block, a violent criminal enterprise that's what O Block is. The conflict was allegedly fueled by the diss tracks between Duck and rapper King Von, an alleged O Block leader who had been accused of placing a bounty on Duck. King Von, real name Davon Benton, was killed months after Duck in an apparently unrelated shooting in Atlanta. On trial of Marcus Muwap Smart, 24, Christopher C. Thane Thomas, 24, Kenny Mac Robertson, 30, Charles C. Murder Leggins, 32, DeCarlos Los Alford, 32, and Ralph T.Z. Turpin, 34. All the defendants are charged with murder in aid of racketeering and conspiring to kill Duck. It says except for Turpin, the defendants face 5 additional counts for facing firearms to carry out the killing and wounding of 2 others in the truck. During the arguments, it stretched forward that stretched over 4 days. Defending attorneys sought to poke holes in the evidence, dispel the government's theory of the shooting and unravel the pivotal claim that defendants participating in the shooting based on their connection to O Block. Prosecutors alleged Turpin spotted Duck in a children's clothing store on Oak Street and made a fateful call to ultimately summon two cars to the swanky shopping district where the other defendants allegedly gunned down Duck in front of the Dolce and Gabbana store. But Turpin's lawyer, Patrick Bowe, argued there is no evidence that call happened, noting that authorities never got a search warrant for Turpin's cell phone. Turpin, however, was caught on video shortly before the shooting, telling people on the phone that he saw Duck and had people on their way. According to the shooting, he sent an alarming text to his child's mother, who had dated Duck, that contained only 3 laughing emojis. With the government's case hinging and with the government's case hinging on proving that O Block is a criminal enterprise, Boyle said, there's no evidence to prove that the claim that Turpin is a member of the gang faction that's clicked up with O Block. Boyle said Turpin had moved on and was no longer involved in the street life. Rap blogger boasts crack jokes while testifying against defendant in FBG Duck murder case. I'm Michael Jordan of YouTube. Robeson's attorney, Cheryl Boardman, said that the most problematic part of the government's case against her client is that he was trying to maintain or increase his position on O Block by serving as a driver. Boardman noted he was a member of a different crew and insisted there's nothing substantive to show his connection to O Block. At the same time, she acknowledged that he and Liggins are friends and that his family members have lived in Parkway Gardens, the sprawling South Side housing complex that's also known as O Block and allegedly serves as the fashion's power base. If he doesn't have a position in O Block, he can never increase or maintain it, Boardman said of Robertson, who also had a pending murder case in Cook County Court. Robertson faces a mountain of evidence in Duck's murder. His car's path from Parkway to O Block was tracked by city cameras and license plate readers. He texted a witness that he was on Duck and later boasted about killing. And a shell casing linked to the shooting was covered from his car. A lawyer for Alford, the other alleged getaway driver, pointed to the video footage at Parkway Gardens that's being used to identify many other suspects. Attorney Richard Kling noted that the footage jumps from roughly 4 minutes as Alford is getting into the car, arguing that there's no indication Alford actually drove away in it. Kling suggested that Alford's cousin, Isaiah Ross, actually drove the car based on a light-colored sweatshirt he was seen wearing at the housing complex. Kling claimed that the city-owned camera showed that the driver was wearing a similar-looking sweatshirt around the time of the shooting. Now, 15 seconds of mayhem on Gold Coast. FBI affidavit lifts curtain on FBG Duck murder case. Witnesses testified that Alford returned his Ford Fusion to the suburban car dealership shortly after the shooting. Alford's child's mother testified that she picked him up from the dealership along with Rawls and a person she said she assumed was smart. Rawls later took his own life, prosecutors have said. Defense lawyers have insisted that there's no forensic evidence to prove the defendants were on Oak Street, and they've criticized criticized the identifications made for the surveillance footage at Parkway Gardens while seizing on the poor video quality and skips in the footage. The lawyers have also slammed the troubled testimonies of gang members who were used to identify the suspects and help prove O Block is an enterprise, nothing that some were paid and offered leniency. That includes Martell Trenches News Wiley and Rakeem FBG Butter Wilton. YouTubers who turned the trial into an embarrassing spectacle. The proof doesn't know what happened on the street, Kling said. The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence is not sufficient to convict beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, even though we coming to a closing of this case and we in deliberations, right? And I hope this woman here gets justice. You know, no mother needs to go through, you know, such a horrific pain. But what it's sounding like now is the fact it sounded like the evidence that they so-called had in the beginning was weak, and O Block 6 just may slip through the cracks. Now, and with the case coming to a close, you know, FBG Duck's mother, who goes by FBG Duck, what is it? Mama Duck. She also has she's a YouTuber herself, so more will be coming out in this. I did have this footage of Mama Duck, and you know, like I say, no mother needs to go through this, right? And in her video, she made a valid point. Like, who's mass producing these weapons? Where the weapons coming from? And why is nothing being done about it, right? Now, I know personally myself, I've heard personally myself, right? In the past, we talking 10 years or better, where the trains that were coming through Chicago would stop overnight, right? Where the train cargo had all artillery on there. And the trucks allegedly, not the trucks, but the trains were allegedly broken into. So with that being said, it's like, and this happened on a number of occasions. It wasn't just one time. It happened on a number of occasions to where you would have thought, you know, authorities, they would have known something, or they at least would have been on alert. Yeah, they at least would have been on alert. Like, and fast forward 10, 15 years as a result of that, allegedly. This will be looking at the violence that goes on throughout Chicago, that's been going on throughout Chicago uh, for the past 15, 20 years. And it don't seem to be, nothing seem to be getting done about it, to the point to where it's spreading. You know, Memphis got a little something going on down there right now. And with the crime rate, you know what I just learned? Like, less than half of the murders are being solved in Memphis, right? So then they just voted the police chief back in, and that got the community at an uproar. You would understand why. Would I continue to pay you for a job that you're not doing? Anyway, like I say, and this woman was, you know, she was in the courtroom. Not only was she in the courtroom, she's the mother of the late FBG Duck. And I'm gonna let her speak. They're supposed to be back in court today. And of course, you know, slide back on over her if you want to get an update on the latest. But this is what I got right now.
After seeing hundreds of exhibits and hearing testimony from more than 30 witnesses, that was the state, had 30 witnesses, y'all. The state had 30 witnesses. Guess how many witnesses they had? One. They ain't had nobody to get them no alibi. They ain't got nobody to say, well, he was here, he was with me, and even though we know it's the guy, like, they had one, and he was a professor from Washington, D.C., who talked about people, and when they see identity, something, what you see, like, okay, he said, put a picture up of a rabbit. If you look at it one way, it look like a rabbit, but if you look like the other way, you know it look like a duck bill. And I was like, why would he use that picture out of all the things to make something? You look at it one way, it look like a rabbit. You look at it another way, it look like a duck. So he used that language, and basically, I didn't even understand the logic for him even fucking being there. But I don't know nothing about law, so I can only just sit back and watch everything unfold. So while the state had all these many witnesses, and a few of the witnesses that y'all heard were, y'all heard they were, it's like everything. I decided I'm not even going back in the courtroom. And I have good reasons why. Because one, I think I intimidate the peoples, as any mother should, going on trial for the loss of their child. But I got to the point I don't even look that way. I look straight at the jury, and I look straight at the judge, and I might look at the attorneys while they're speaking. I'm trying to understand everything that's going on. And I got a habit, y'all, where I take my baby chain. Y'all done saw me do it a lot of times. Like, I gotta do this. All right, it's a habit. But apparently it was a problem. So I said, you know what? I don't even want to be in the courtroom anymore. I will watch everything